You don't need to come back.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevakishwa.
Sile wakati tulikuwa tunaapishwa tukapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow.
We are the full package.
Oh yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for joining us here on Lunchtime News. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up this afternoon. We shall be taking a look at news updates from across borders as well as what is happening right here in the country. Now, to kick us off, we shall be crossing over to Homa Bay. But before we cross over, our sign language interpreter is Brian Moraro. My name is Jackie Wambiru, and I will link up with our reporter Simon Atrola, who is in Homa Bay County, where the International Investment Conference is currently underway. Atrola, kindly bring us to speed.
Fantastic, Jackie Wambiru. Indeed, we are in Homa Bay County, and we are here solely for the Homa Bay International Investment Conference that is kicking off today. And the person that is expected to officially open this International Investment Conference is the President himself, President William Ruto. And this investment conference has actually been themed unfolding the Bay of endless potential, and basically it is that they're actually trying as much as they can to put this county out there, so that then whoever wants to actually invest in this great county can actually seek those opportunities and eventually, of course, exploit them. But of course, to put us into perspective of exactly what will be happening here for the next 3 days and what we should be expecting from here in Homa Bay County is the CEC of investment, trade investment and cooperatives. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, and kindly tell us exactly what should we expect in the next 3 days as this conference kicks off.
This is a very robust conference, and all the signs that is being seen today, because we are holding this conference in order to unveil all the bankable investment opportunities within Homa Bay County, from leveraging in the blue economy to ICT to agribusiness to fish processing and all our value chains within Homa Bay. We are going to showcase them today in order to attract the investors to Homa Bay County. And right now we have a lot of guests that have come to grace the occasion. but we are still waiting for His Excellency the President to come and officially open this function today. We have the Ambassador US is here, very many PSS, very many CSS, very many governors are here, and all the business community are here. Over 20 investors have already reported here today. Yes.
Fantastic. This investment forum has actually been themed the Bay of Endless Potential. Any investor out there looking at this particular investment conference, what will be the low-hanging fruits that they can actually quickly pick as they start to heavily invest into this county?
It is called endless potential because the potentials that are in Homa Bay here will only make you answer one question. Why Homa Bay? It is Homa Bay and no any other place because, number one, we have 80% of Kenyan Lake Victoria in Homa Bay. And that means we have a sponsor here called Gatsby. Gatsby have done mapping in the entire lake. And already we know which parts of the lake can actually give more returns within Kenya, and that is Homa Bay County. And that is why we want to attract investors in that line. So that tells the investors that anybody who wants to invest in the blue economy, Homa Bay is the best place. Even if you look at our shorelines within Lake Victoria, we have very, very beautiful beaches which can attract even tourism conferencing. All that is what we are showcasing for investors today so that they come and see the potential in tourism also. And at the same time, we have about 3 value chains. We have very many value chains, but we have 3 major value chains that we want to bank on. Number one is cotton value chain. Previously, we used to do a lot of cottons, but the death of our industries made farmers to lose hope in this industry. So the many farmers that are farming in cotton, their products normally, the raw material normally go to Baringo for processing. But this time around, because we have done mapping of farmers, and we know very many farmers will now be engaged into farming, what normally discouraging them is the offtake. If we clear that offtake aspect of the farming, many guys will now get involved in farming. And that was bringing the ginnery. And we already have investors who are ready to bring ginnery in Homa Bay County. And that not only will create direct employment, but even indirect employment will be created for our people. When you go
One
to
other thing that
value chains like edible oil, the best nuts come from Homa Bay County. We have sunflower also come from Homa Bay County. We also want to invest in oil palm within Homa Bay County. And all those investors are here to help us stave off all the negativities that normally comes with this so that our people pick it very well.
So in essence, you're saying it's not about fish in Homa Bay County. There's quite a number of investment areas that people can actually bank in. The question then people will be asking is, do you have the infrastructure to actually ensure that whoever wants to come to Homa Bay County can actually come here quick time and start exploiting those expenses?
One of the major factors of production is land. And we have what we call Riwa City. Riwa City, we have a land worth 536 hectares.
Fantastic. Of course, these are issues that we will discuss further in the conference. Yes. But of course, that is great, Mr. CEC. Yes. That is the CEC of Trade and Industry and Cooperative here in Homa Bay County. Of course, breaking it down for us here in terms of the potential of this particular county, but also the low-hanging fruits that anyone who wants to actually invest in this county can actually come, and especially now that they're actually holding the International Investment Conference here in Homa Bay County. That, of course, is going to be opened by none other than the President himself, President William Ruto. Back to you, Jackie Wambiru.
Well, there you have it. That is Simon Achola from Homa Bay County bringing us an updated report of what is currently happening and what to expect at the Homa Bay Investment Conference. Well, we shall be keeping you updated. Now we move on where 2 children have died in a bandit attack in Baringo North. The 2 were killed while herding family livestock in the Achia area. The killings bring to 10 the death toll from bandit attacks within few weeks. Tension is high in the area, with locals calling on the government to stem the wave of bandit attacks in the area. Health stakeholders in Migori County are calling upon residents to shun practices that will expose them to the risk of contracting HIV/AIDS. The experts have advocated for behavior change as well as fighting stigma as some of the strategies to win the war on the HIV/AIDS scourge in the county. Here is Pauline Nasimiu with the details.
Speaking during a stakeholders meeting that brought together officials from the Ministry of Health, people living with HIV and AIDS in Suna East constituency, Migori County health stakeholders have decried the tendency by some residents to ignore efforts put in place to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS. The area coordinator for people living with HIV/AIDS, Vera Enoch, has further called for more sensitization of residents on the need for behavior change.
We also have other behaviors which target other population. We have evidence-based interventions. For example, we have IBAN care and intervention that targets our discordant couples, because our discordant couples are among the population which are at continuous risk of acquiring HIV/AIDS.
Similar sentiments were echoed by the area officer in charge of the Center for International Health, Education and Biosecurity, Ismail Odesi.
There's still a lot of awareness, ongoing awareness with other partners, so that we can be able to fight stigma to access better health services.
We are now moving from the facility-based interventions to community. We see more effort put on this population so that we can curb the HIV infection.
Residents have also been urged to embrace regular HIV testing and consistent uptake ARVs for those living with the virus. Pauline Nasimiu for Lunchtime News.
And now on to the scales of justice, where a 57-year-old man and his nephew denied 3 counts of murder charges before a Thika High Court. The two are accused of committing the crime in Matathia Village, Thika East Kiambu County 2 months ago. Benson Njoroge Ngoge and Peter Ngoge Wanjiko are accused of strangling Penina Wairumo Ngoge to death and clobbering Pauline Jerry and Joyce Wanjiru to death after they allegedly discovered their crime. The bodies of the trio were discovered days later inside their newly built house in Ruiru town. The 2 accused persons were denied bail and remanded in different prisons as investigations continue. The case will be mentioned on March 13, 2024. In other news, the government of Slovak Republic has donated a food consignment to be distributed to Kenyans who have been affected by drought and floods, especially in Tana River County. Speaking at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport after his arrival in the country, Slovak Republic Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the Environment Thomas Taraba said the donation is part of his country's commitment to support and strengthen the bilateral ties between Kenya and the Slovak Republic.
As various parts of the country continue making strides to attain food security, some regions like Tana River County are still struggling with food insecurity. A food consignment donation from Slovak Republic will, however, give relief to residents affected in these regions. Speaking at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport after his arrival for the UNEA conference and bilateral talks, the Slovak Republic Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the Environment Thomas Taraba said his country will continue to cooperate with Kenya in areas of education, health, water, technology and green energy.
To help by let's say, digitalization of some schools that would enable to enlarge the possibilities of the young generation to be successful on the job market. We are ready also to bring some very useful medical assistance, healthcare products that also will enlarge the ability of the healthcare system to assist people. And the first part, as you know, Slovakia is involved also in a lot of technologies from the point of view of production of the batteries. So this is also what we will launch tomorrow.
We can emphasize and renew the commitment of Slovakia, the global commitment to reversing the carbon emissions globally. And we're delighted that these conversations will be taking place the next few days.
The Deputy Prime Minister further said the the donation is part of his country's commitment to supporting and strengthening the bilateral ties between the two nations.
But we are more than happy to assist also by any relief program to help Kenya. For this reason, we brought today in my delegation the first package of humanitarian aid, but that will consist of 4 parts. The first one is humanitarian aid that is going to areas that have been affected by these natural disasters that unfortunately happened, and that confirms that there is a real climate change.
When receiving humanitarian aid, Director, Europe Commonwealth Directorate, Ministry of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Rose McKenna, and Kenya Red Cross Union Secretary General Dr. Ahmed Idris lauded the government of Slovak Republic for its continued support towards Kenya.
Population that have been affected by subsequent droughts and floods. We are delighted that we are not only discussing the assistance today on how to reach them to cope with the effects of the disaster of floods, but we're having a robust discussion on how to help the communities support themselves better, enhance their livelihoods, and make better use of the river basin that is Tana River, building on your experience as the people of Slovakia.
We are very excited that he remembers to bring for us some of this humanitarian aid to the people of Kenya, and we are very thankful for that. I also want to let you know that His Excellency will be launching the AC charger.
The consignment was handed over to Kenya Red Cross.
The spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has encouraged juvenile offenders not to give up even as they serve their sentences in different correctional facilities in the county. Now, Pastor Dorcas spoke after visiting Shimolatewa Bostol in Kilifi County Institution, which has 204 inmates aged between 15 to 18 years.
In fulfillment of her agenda of dignifying the lives of men and boys in the country, Pastor Dorcas visited the Shimolatewa Bostol Correctional Facility in Kilifi County and donated learning materials to the juvenile offenders. It was here that she encouraged the offenders that they still have a chance in life.
Tumewaombea mukiamini na mfanye mambo, mbadilishe mawazo yenu, mukirekebishwa kwa wakati mdogo mutaona mutaenda nyumbani. Na mimi kana mama nitakuwa nimewagojea, mkuje munijengee nyumba, munishonee nguo, nimeona mnaweza shona.
She at the same time called upon them to maximize the resources in prison in order to be equipped with formal and technical skills which they can use once they are released.
Nafasi ya kupatiwa ile mafunzo nimeona. Na niseme asanti sana kwa wale wako kwa hii institution ya Bostol.
The visit is part of her initiative to rescue the boy child. She made such visits previously to Kiambu Prison, Chuka Prison, Kendege Prison, Kingongo Prison, and Umuruti Prison. Parsai Frederick, Lunchtime News.
And now moving on, the National Museum of Kenya has launched a groundbreaking initiative to document the history of slave trade. The initiative is being done in collaboration with Pwani University.
Here at the Mnarani Ruins, a significant historical site, the National Museum of Kenya has unveiled its mission to preserve details of slave trade. National Museums of Kenya Coast Regional Assistant Director Athman Hussein expressed the urgency of the project. He revealed that despite indications of slave trade in Kenya, there is a glaring absence of documented evidence.
Kulikuwa hakuna documentation nyingi iliyofanywa, uandishi mwingi kuhusiana na utumwa katika sehemu hii. Documentary kama hizi zikitolewa aidha kwa kuandikwa kama vitabu ama kutengenezwa kama sinema, ni kuweza wale vizazi wetu vinavyokuja waweze kusoma ile historia.
The collaborative research, backed by partners from Poland, aims to collect tangible evidence and document the horrors of the trade through books, documentaries, and artifacts.
Documentary hii itakuwa shared across to students, wanafunzi wa historia, wanafunzi wa anthropology na hata wale wa archaeology.
Kwa hivyo tunataka stema kama hii iwe itaonyeshwa kama shule, itaweza kuandikwa katika vitabu ili siku za usoni watoto wetu waweze kujua mahali gani tulitoka na mahali gani tupo na vipi vitu visa kama vile visiweze kujiripitisha kwa sura hii ama kwa sura nyingine katika siku zinazokuja.
Ibrahim Busolo, an archaeology lecturer at Pwani University, highlighted challenges including the scarcity of materials and potential copyright issues.
Baadhi ya vitabu hivyo ama picha hizo zinapatikana katika maktaba za mataifa ya nje, hasa Uingereza, Marekani, na zote zimewekwa copyright. Huwezi ukazipata mpaka uzilipie ndio uzitumie. Inamaanisha kwamba kuna mtu mahali kwingine anatumia hizo picha ama michoro hizo kwa kutengeneza fedha, lakini waliohusika wenyewe hawajui.
The testimonies from individuals like Kabiha Chengo underscore the importance of preserving these stories for future generations.
Hiyo historia ya utumwa naisikia imeniingia, na huwa nataka ipanuke zaidi, ijulikane zaidi. Na hata si mimi peke yangu, hata watoto wangu, wajukuu wangu, vipendekezo zangu pia vinajua kulikuwa na nini, kuliendelea nini, na sasa tuko vipi wakati huu.
John Junge for Lunchtime News.
Several students drawn from West Pokot County have benefited from a 600 million shilling bursary courtesy of the county government. West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin at the same time warned school heads against misuse of school funds and that all schools should be audited frequently to curb pilferage.
The county government of West Pokot has disbursed bursary funds to several students from the county to enable them to have affordable quality education. West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin said that the county government has allocated 20 million shillings for infrastructure development in 40 schools to create a conducive environment and boost the schools within remote areas.
We have allocated 20 million shillings for infrastructure development in 40 schools. That is 22 primary and 18 secondary schools. This investment is important as it will create a conducive learning environment for our students.
He, however, challenged all school principals to be prudent in the use of the bursary.
This fund will ensure that our children from many parts of the county have access to quality and affordable education. I know how a head teacher can transform an institution. Kwa hivyo kila mtu ajibike. Na unaona hii dunia itakuwa mzuri.
We have 12 teachers.
Elsewhere, the education sector in Sowin-Sigowet constituency, Kericho County, got a boost after 80% of NGCDF was allocated to the sector. Sowin-Sigowet Member of Parliament, Justice Kimei, said out of 166 million shillings allocated to the constituency in the financial year 2023-2024, a total of 134 million shillings has been dedicated to education as a way of realizing the objectives of education in the constituency.
In this constituency, I am doing 80% because I believe if we do that, we'll be able to realize the objectives of education in our constituency.
Kisii County residents have differed over a motion tabled before the County Assembly seeking to impeach the Deputy Governor Robert Monde. Speaking at a public participation exercise, a section of residents cited corruption and disunity as key reasons to slow development in the region. According to the locals, there is need for the Deputy Governor and Governor to work closely for the sake of development. These are some of the residents expressed their reservations on the timing of the impeachment motion. The impeachment motion was filed by Ichuni MCA Wycliffe Siocha last week, sparking conflict among MCAs. Monde is accused of, among others, abuse of office and corruption. He has since dismissed his planned impeachment as a political witch hunt.
Kitu ambacho tunaita public participation, kwa sababu hawa wananchi ndio waliopiga kura. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu pia wahusishwe, waangalie hiyo impeachment motion vizuri na wao watoe maoni yao.
Well, that report brings us to our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
You stay soft, add your concentrate. 1. It is 4 times more concentrated. 2. It is packed with 4 times more fragrance. 3. 1 bottle gives you 40 washes. You stay soft, add your concentrate.
Also available in convenient sachets.
Why didn't you tell me the truth, Reynaldo?
I didn't say anything about what?
Why didn't you tell me that the person who rescued me on the beach wasn't you, but Ruben? Tell me. Why don't you tell him what I came here for? Tell him.
Stop it. That's enough.
Go ahead. Why don't you tell him? Ask her what happened,
I'm
Dad.
not interested. This whole thing's over.
Just get out of my house. I don't want to see you, simple as that. And it's better if we forget about what happened between us.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Executive Director of the Coast Association for Persons Living with Disability, Hamisa Zajer, has been nominated for the Women Building Peace Award. The international award by U.S. Institute of Peace recognized her for her work in empowering youth, women and persons living with disability. Speaking as she departed for the ceremony set to take place in Washington, D.C. in the U.S., Zajer said her nomination was evident of the great recognition for Kenya peace builders, women and persons with disabilities. Her peace-building journey started in 2005 when she helped build a resource center in Majengo, Mvita sub-county in Mombasa, which has nurtured more than 1,500 youth, women and persons living with disability annually. And now we cross over to Nakuru County, where tens of families in Olkaria in Naivasha were forced to spend the night in the cold after KWS officials demolished their manyatas for allegedly encroaching into Hell's Gate National Park. The incident sparked protest from members of the Maasai community who claimed that they lost tens of livestock and property worth thousands of shillings during the exercise.
Emotions ran high as the community vowed to kick out tens of wildlife that have strayed from the nearby park into their farms. However, KWS defended the decision to demolish the structures, accusing some members of the community of encroaching into the park and environmental degradation. But the community chairman, Mwangi Sururu, denied allegations that they had invaded part of the park, saying that they had lived on the land for over 50 years.
Tunataka kusema kwa sababu hiyo uhusiano wamekata na wanyama yao yuko katika mashamba yetu, na pia wamepiga wamama, wamechapa vijana, mali yetu imeumia. Tunataka kusema kutoka leo ile wanyama yao yote ambao yuko katika mashamba yetu tunataka wakuja watoe, la sivyo sisi tutatoa hizo wanyama.
Speaking at the scene, Sururu said that several youth and livestock were injured by KWS officers. The community, he said, will drive back hundreds of wild animals that had strayed into their farms from the park.
Hiyo mama amezurua na mang'ombe yetu zaidi ya ng'ombe 3 wamepiga marisasi na akafunja ng'ombe mguu. Nataka kuuliza, ng'ombe inajua nini ambayo inapigwa risasi kama hata wanyama huwezi piga hata mnyama risasi? Sasa tunataka kujua hiyo ni haki kweli ambayo inatendeka.
So tumeshangaa kama tumekuwa wanyama. Tuko na mzee ambaye amepotea saa hii kule Anarasha. Hatujui amekuliwa na fisi, hatujui ameuliwa na nyati, na ni wanyama yao wanakuja mpaka ndani ya maboma zetu. Tunaomba hiyo maneno ishughulikiwe, na kama sio hivyo sisi tutasimama kujipigania, kwa sababu hatuwezi kubali watu wetu wadhulumiwe.
On his part, Kiraison Matayo said that over 50 families had been displaced, adding that they would not rest until they were compensated for the losses incurred.
So sijui uhusiano ya KWS na sisi sijui ni nini, kwa sababu tuko mbali sana. Wanakuja kutusumbua, wanakuja kuharibu mali ya watu yetu. So sisi tunasema kuanzia leo wote anajitokeze alipe hiyo maneno, kwa sababu sisi tukitoka hapa tunaweka kesi kotini.
Wanyama sababu wengine anaweza kulima eka 2, anaweza kulima eka 1 na hii funda milia inaingilia inamaliza. Na anataka kuua. Na tunaambia msiue kwa sababu uhusiano wetu na KWS ataharibu. Kwa nini sisi tunafikiria mali yao ambayo ilikuwa inashunga anapata pesa na afikirie yetu?
Watching on the park and constructing illegal structures. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Lunchtime News.
In our weekly segment dubbed The Cabinet, we profile former government minister John Cheruiyot. Cheruiyot was a prominent figure in the Kenyan politics and served as Minister of Commerce during President Daniel Moi's administration. Let's have a look. John Cheruiyot's education journey ended after completing his A-level examination at Kakamega High School in 1971, where he was a loyal member of the Christian Union. His journey in politics would begin when the late Ezekiel Baringetuni, the then Nandi Kingpin, would recommend him to replace the then National Assembly Speaker Samuel Arap Ngeni, who appeared to have had a fallout with the government. Cheruiyot had an added advantage as he was the son of Ezekiel Birek, the head of the African Inland Church, where the late President Moi was an ardent worshipper. This would expose him to the field of politics from business, and in 1988 he was elected Aldai Member of Parliament through the infamous Mlolongo political system. Unknown to many, Cheruiyot became the minister after his Tinderet counterpart was sacked hardly 9 months after assuming office as Minister for Commerce. Cheruiyot would go ahead to serve as minister for 4 years from 1988 to 1992. At that time, the Commissioner for Cooperatives, Raymond Bomet, had more political clout than the minister. In many instances, Bomet executed his mandate without consulting him, with serious implications in some instances. Bomet, who enjoyed unfettered access to the then president, could make decisions like dissolving cooperative boards without informing the minister. It was during Cheruiyot's tenure that several cooperative societies and unions went under, largely due to undue political pressure. In 1992, he lost his Aldai parliamentary seat to Paul Titi. In 1993, he was appointed Rivertex Limited chairman before he disappeared into political obscurity. In 2015, a Nairobi court jailed him for 6 years for failing to pay a 20-year-old outstanding debt of 2 million shillings, of which 1.6 million shillings was interest. He successfully appealed and the jail term was suspended. Today, Cheruiyot's presence is felt more in nostalgic reminiscence than in the political arena. He would retreat to his family farm after departing from the murky political landscape to a quiet life after a journey that was marked by both triumph and tribulations. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet. And now we take a look at news making headlines in the business world, where the government has commenced a sensitization forum aimed at fostering crucial linkages and unlocking opportunities within the micro, small and medium enterprises. Dubbed the Mashinani Sensitization Initiative, the program seeks to integrate various support initiatives targeting MSMEs, including training, technology, adoption, access to finance, market linkages and adoption of e-commerce.
Small and medium enterprises should formalize their groups and tap various state resources such as Uwezo Fund to grow their enterprises. SME's Development Principal Secretary Susan Mangeni emphasized the importance of partnerships and utilizing empowerment forums to fast-track the development of their specific value chains. She was speaking during a joint economic empowerment sensitization program and Uwezo Funds Check Insurance event held at Shapashina Stadium in Kajiado County.
Hiyo cold storage kwa sababu si tunajua nyanya zenyu mnauza Nairobi, mnauza Mombasa, zingine mnauza Tanzania, lakini tukiweka pale cold storage tufanye value addition, mimi najua nyanya zenyu tutauza nje ya nchi.
Mangeni implored teams to work closely with the government in the specific value chains to maximize the unique potential of enterprises. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
The 2024 edition of the Mobile World Congress has opened in Barcelona, Spain. This year's Mobile World Congress centers on the Future First concept, highlights the importance of uniting industries, continents, technologies and communities to realize the potential of the future. Here are the details of these and other stories making headlines globally.
The GSMA, organizer of the event, expects some 95,000 visitors from all over the world to attend the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, compared with the 88,500 recorded last year. The GSMA is an industry group representing the world's biggest mobile phone operators. This year's Mobile World Congress features around 2,400 exhibitors and 1,100 speakers, including nearly 300 Chinese companies such as China Mobile, China Telecom, Huawei, ZTE, Lenovo, Xiaomi, and iFlyTech. Artificial intelligence applicators across the devices and networks, advancements in 5G and 6G technologies, as well as enhancing connectivities, will be among major topics at this year's event. Meanwhile, beef producers in Spain have welcomed China's lifting of the decades-long ban on Spanish beef imports, with the announcement inspiring key players to ramp up production and tap into massive Chinese markets. China recently announced the lifting of restrictions on imports of Spanish deboned beef from cattle under 30 months of age. China is the largest beef importer in the world, consuming over $14 billion worth of beef last year. Finally, a new report for the U.S. government has raised serious concerns about Boeing safety management systems, adding to the scrutiny facing the U.S. plane maker. The review found a disconnect between senior management and regular staff, and signs that safety-related messages and behaviors were not effectively implemented across the company. Boeing, one of the major global plane makers, has been under added pressure since last month when a section of one of its passengers' jets blew off in mid-air, forcing an emergency landing. The incident, which narrowly avoided serious harm, revived questions about Boeing's manufacturing processes after the 2018 and 2019 accidents, which killed 346 people and led to accusations that the company has put profits before safety as it produced its planes.
Anti-aging Quantum Living Africa, a prominent health company, has announced a significant investment of $30 million in the Kenyan e-commerce market. The firm's founder, Barry Wan, says anti-aging Quantum Living plans to use Kenya as a launchpad to new markets in Africa such as Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, South Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana and Egypt. Wan says the investment will create employment opportunities for Kenyans who will offer accessible and flexible shopping experiences for consumers.
We going to invest like $30 million US dollar in Kenya. And this is going to be the base for Africa. I think, we are born in a great age. Now it's a great time for Africa. So it's come to the information age, second half.
And now in the sports arena, Jarrod Bowen scored a hat-trick as West Ham belatedly picked up their first win of 2024 since December 28th with a crushing 4-2 victory over Brentford at the London Stadium on Monday night as Coventry hit 5 to bring Maidstone's dream FA Cup run to an emphatic end.
Flicked it there and Ogbonna not involved, and here is Mopé, and they've got one back.